Okie dokie do. Welcome to another week of Quiet on Set. It's me and Kev again.
Other Kev.
Other Kev, yeah. It's not Kev, it's Other Kev.
Oh, hold on, man, but I'd rather Kev these days.
That's it. Right, so, this time, we're going to be talking about a movie that Kev apparently enjoyed, but I hated.
No, see, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the thrill, the understanding of it. I just hated the ending. Can we spoil this movie?
Oh, I'm going to spoil the absolute bits out of the film.
Right.
If I don't like a film, I don't want people to see it, so I want to tell them everything that happens so that they do not have to go see it.
So, let's start off with the fun facts.
Fun facts? There's not going to be any fun facts of this piece of shit. Watch. Anyway, the film is called Mother, and I wanted to be specified that it's Mother exclamation point because
Actually,
the statement that it's trying to make.
Can we point out we won tickets for this?
Yeah, we won for the premiere. We won tickets to go see the premiere.
Free cocktails. I won a few of them at this point.
That was great. Really enjoyed the free alcohol. That was unreal.
Still don't drink, so a waste on me.
Yeah, because you're boring.
I had an orange juice.
Alright, I just want to read this one fact. This seems like the most... Michelle Pfeiffer admitted to not understanding the script the first time she read it. I know how she feels. Describing it as esoteric. However, the actress committed to the project after becoming excited by the character she would be playing. I just want to let everyone know that the character that Michelle Pfeiffer is playing in this movie is a fucking cunt. And I hate her, and I hope she died at the end. Which we don't know. We don't know who dies at the end. Just fuck this movie. Jennifer Lawrence.
Was she dead in the last act?
I have no idea.
Because I was kind of hoping they would be. Because that kind of makes sense if they all just came back. I think they all came back, but then I was like, oh no, these are different people.
Yeah, I think what they were trying to point out with them, I think they were trying, like, the brothers were obviously Cain and Abel. That's who the brothers were. And then...
Jesus Christ, it is so religious, this movie.
Yeah, it's ridiculously stupid religion. If you connect it to religion, it's extremely religious. If you don't connect it to religion, the movie, there's no point to the movie.
Alright, so...
The movie doesn't make any sense. It's fucking pointless. Like, the only reason that I know that the brothers are Cain and Abel, the father and mother are supposed to be
Adam and Eve.
For some reason, and Eve is a cunt because she's original sin or whatever. Oh wait, does that mean... Who the fuck is Jennifer Lawrence's character supposed to be? That's the thing that doesn't make any sense. Is that Jennifer Lawrence's character is the only one that doesn't have any biblical representation whatsoever.
Well, she's probably Mary.
You see, you could say that, but...
She does fuck a god.
Is Javier Bardem a god?
Right, so let's... Okay. So I learned this thing recently. The first scene of a movie is how you perceive the movie, right? It's how you watch the movie.
It's the setup.
Right, so it had a fantastic setup for the movie.
Yeah.
You found out the old lady saw it, didn't give a shit.
Yeah, and then it is terrifying. The kid doesn't understand what's happening, and then the kid dies.
Yeah.
And that sets the tone immediately.
Right, so...
This movie is she wakes up, her husband's not there, so she has a little wander around the gaff, is terrible at plastering, and then Javier Bardem shows up, and he's like, oh man, I need to take a shower. And she's like, no, you don't need to take a shower. I like how you smell. And everybody groans silently.
It made more sense. Now, seeing the whole picture, I'm going to ruin it now, it's a circle movie.
It's another cyclical movie. Not from fucking Stephen King this time.
I sometimes...
It might as well have been.
I hate books that is like that. And like The Cube. Did you ever see The Cube trilogy?
No.
That's basically a cyclical movie.
Ironically called The Cube.
Yeah. So it starts off, but now I understand why he was called to her right away.
Because he didn't know her.
Yeah. He doesn't know this bitch.
But like the whole point I thought was, like if she's supposed to be Mary, right? Yeah. I don't remember anything in the Bible about Mary's early life where she was like super religious and loved God, like any more than anybody else did. But in this, the reason Javier Bardem is quote unquote married to her is because she adores him and his work. Like that's why she's married to him.
She's a follower. Oh, she's Mary Magdalene.
Yeah, she wouldn't be Mary Magdalene because she essentially gives birth to quote unquote Jesus Christ. That's like the Son of God would be Jesus Christ.
Okay,
and then
nice.
I don't know. Let's leave it be Paro.
That would be great.
Yeah, that's pretty what it is. We've been talking about him for so long. He's pretty coming at me fucking boiler or something.
Right, so it starts off. Right, I'm going to give my review to it. So
please do, because I just want to scream.
Right, so it starts off, and the house is repairing itself. So I thought, I was like, alright, so they came to the
This is
house.
like... Oh, so we're kind of doing the fucking...
Can I just close the door now?
Close the door.
Alright, so we had to stand up and have some cuts.
That's fine.
So it starts off, the house is rebuilding itself, so I'm like, alright, so we know it's being burnt.
It looks like it's like a retrospective, like it burnt down and then she remodeled it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, that's great. She gets up.
And it was an interesting shot, it was an interesting use of special effects. And then the movie started.
And it also ends like when he puts that crystal into this weird light thing.
I think that's the perfect way to describe it because they don't describe it either.
Yeah. And is it so?
Oh, hang on, hold on. I just before you finish talking, I just read a little fact that Paramount cancelled the upcoming Friday the 13th film in order to make this piece of shit instead. Not that I want another Friday the 13th remake.
What did this get on Rotten Tomatoes then?
83 for some reason. Like, this is why nobody listens to critics. This is the exact reason. Like, there was an entire fucking auditorium full of 400 people and countless people left because of how bad this movie is. The two other people we went with also left.
Yeah.
That means it's not a good film.
And at one point, one of the best scenes I thought of the movie at that time, they left for and they came back. What happened? Like, I don't know.
I can't explain it to you because it doesn't make any fucking sense to me either.
Right. So the house rebuilds itself. He puts this light thing in.
Yeah.
Right?
And the crystal is supposed to be like the heart of the house or whatever.
Right. And that makes sense. And when she touches, right, so she touches the. Alright, so she walks around and we're in an iSense screen. iSense or IMAX?
iSense.
Right?
IMAX copyright.
Okay. So it's a huge screen, right? Just giant tits. Her tits were huge. And now I understand why it's 18 because it's 16.
I don't know. No, it's 18. No, it's 100% alright.
I'd be alright for 16.
No, because like we were watching that whole film, right? And her tits are only huge because like she's pregnant halfway through the film. So like that's how biology works. But anyway, to deviate from Jennifer Lawrence's tits for like 2 minutes.
If we can bear that.
Yeah. Basically, the reason that film is 18s, the only thing I could think of, and it made me so angry, was that she breastfeeds in the film.
Would you say that's it?
Well, the only other thing I can think of is they eat a fucking baby cow.
Okay, so yeah. So at one point I was like, this is like a Monty Python sketch where they're just like, let's just keep it going. Because usually when they don't know
it's all build up, no punchline. Yeah. Exactly.
So basically what happens is this guy comes in the middle of the night. The husband is distant and cold to her.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense because like he really loves her, but then he doesn't. And then
he loves everyone. He doesn't
take into consideration how she feels. Like basically, if you ignore the religious shit for a few minutes, which is impossible because of how hard it hits you with it, but it's basically the first hour of the film, the first act of the film is what happens in a relationship when there's no communication between the two people involved, which there is no communication. She loves him. He loves that she loves him.
He wants a kid, but he doesn't want a kid.
Now, he wants a kid, but he's busy.
Yeah, not writing.
He's busy not doing the thing he said he wanted to do.
And he moved here so he could write.
He didn't move anywhere. That's his house. His house burnt down. And he got her to refurbish it for him. See, this is the thing. Like, what? Do you know what I mean? They're just married for some... Like, he says that they're married because his house burnt down. All he had was some fucking diamond stone yoke. And he met this woman.
Did I miss this when I took a piss?
I don't know, man. I genuinely... It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever.
So this old guy comes. Like, he had bruises and all that, which just I never explained.
He had a lesion just there on his back.
And then he feels, great. So that's probably like, this is the first time, like...
He's a god, he can heal people.
Yeah. So, and then her husband his wife comes, who is a bitch.
Stone cold, rat-faced bitch.
Right? And then, and she's like, sorry, yeah, they can stay. What?
Why can they stay? Hang on, hold up, what?
And then
did you know he had a wife? Did you know his wife was coming?
Then he started talking about kids and how you should be dressing sexy for them. Like, What?
Yeah.
And then their kids come and they have a fight. One dies, and then they all leave her
alone in the gaff. The murderer comes back
and then leaves.
and then leaves.
She cleans up all the blood, and she's like, "You just abandoned me." And he's like, "No." And then so I'm gonna have a shower. Oh, come with me. Oh no, I just want to do something. Then they go upstairs. Then there's a wake at 4 in the morning. Who the fuck has a wake at 4 in the morning? Everyone wearing black.
Compared to me, Irish people have a wake at 4 in the morning. That's because they were already drinking in the pub.
Right,
And they
so
needed
they all
somewhere else
arrive,
to go.
So people arrive, and then more people arrive, and more people arrive. And then he gives the speech that comes back. They retell that speech when they're about.
That's the he's not dead. Listen really closely. Did you hear that? That's your son.
They're not crying, they're laughing for your sons.
No, they all start crying when the poem ends, and you're just like, what the fuck? I assume because he's a poet and essentially the original Bible is poetry, because the way ancient Greek prose works is it's not prose, it's poetry, because in order for it to be orally passed down, it has to be poems, blah 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 blah. Technical bullshit you don't need to know.
Right.
And
you went to college.
you can tell I have a fucking degree in fucking Greek shit that nobody gives a fucking rat's. But yeah, and I assume that's why everybody it's supposed to be this parable where the first family they come in, it's the two of them, then they have sons, their sons kill one another.
Cain and Abel, as you said.
Cain and
that
Abel.
kind of makes sense.
And then because of that, God then works. He makes writings. He finishes the Word of God, the Bible, the Torah, whatever way you want to say it, whatever way you want to frame it. In a monotheistic religion, he wrote down his word and he sent it to the masses. His prophet, who is the publicist played by Christian Wiig, who then gives it to the masses, and the masses go ballistic over it.
But you're jumping ahead a little bit.
Am I jumping ahead a little bit?
Yeah, because that's the set.
That's after the wake that we were just talking about.
The wake is people arrive, and she's like,
there's this one chap, hang on, we go to this now. There's this one chap that's hitting on Jennifer Lawrence, and she's like, no. And he's like, why? And she's like, this is my house, my husband lives here. And he's like, yeah, but I'll give you my number. And she's like, I don't want your number, leave me the fuck alone. And he's like, not getting this at all. And she's like, please just leave me alone, I just want to be left alone. He's like, fuck you, you stupid cunt. Like,
arrogant cunt.
You're like, what? This is her gaff. Her husband's in it. Fuck off. What? Get out of here.
Yeah, it's such a way. Everyone's wearing black. They arrive. They start painting a house. One of the lads goes up to her room to fuck, and she's like,
get out of my room. Yeah, this is our room. Get the fuck out. And they're like, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? Get the fuck out of my room.
But she, again, through the whole thing, she's been super polite till they break the sink.
They keep having bits where they this shot pissed me off. And it did not make any fucking sense whatsoever. They kept the screen would go kind of black, and then this kind of, I assume it's supposed to be her heart. I think that's what it's supposed to be. It doesn't look like that, and it looks like it has a cancerous growth on it, and the heart gets blacker.
Yeah, because I was wondering, is it a heart or a fetus? And then at the end you find out it's her heart.
Yeah, but even then, fuck off with I know people are gonna be like, do movies really need to explain every single thing to you? But when it doesn't frame itself in any particular manner
or look like
to get you to interpret it, and then it fucking drags you through it, it was so fucking heavy-handed with its implications and references. Obviously, implications is subjective because I'm inferring what he's trying to say rather than being told directly what he's trying to say. But fuck off. Genuinely, just every time those two people that were sitting on the sink, and she's like, please get off the sink, it's not braced. And then there was two people sitting on the sink, she's like, please can you get off the sink? And then they're like, oh, what's her fucking problem? It's like, you're in her fucking house. If it wasn't a supernatural film, which it wasn't up to that point, you're just like, get out of her, you're in her house, respect what she asks you to fucking do.
And then when they break the sink, he's finally like, alright, he's all leave.
No, he wasn't even like that. She was like, get out, get the fuck out of my house. And then he was like, no, please don't go, please stay. And she's like, no, get out. And then everyone started leaving. And he was like, what's wrong? And she's like, they're fucking wrecked. Like, every time something broke in that gaff, I was like, how can you not see it? Like, she built, in her mind, she has repaired this house for you, and you're just letting people come in and wreck it. Like, in her mind, that's her space as well, and you're just, like, as a human being, you're just like, as if this is just a normal situation, be like, fucking cop yourself on. And then she snaps at him, and then he's like, what's your problem? And then she's like, how can you say that you want kids and you won't even fuck me? And then like,
it was a weird kind of writing, like, kind of starts off a bit rapish.
Yeah, she's like, no, get off me, and then she's into it, and then she's like, she wakes up like, oh, I'm pregnant,
and everyone laughed.
I was like,
right, so
yeah, no bother.
At this point, I'm in the middle of my chair, my hands on my head, going, what is happening?
Yeah, the amount of time I didn't think, like, I can't remember what other movie I was watching, but I didn't think I'd put my hand. Oh yeah, Transformers. The newest Transformers. I did not think I could put my face in my hands as much when watching a different film, because Transformers broke me mentally. Like, it's such a dumb fucking movie that I was just like, really? Like, there's a bit in the Transformers movie where they're like, the Echo Chamber, Cybertron, after there was an entire 5-10 minute scene where they were talking about how they were going to go to the Echo Chamber. It's hardly going to be the middle of fucking Syria somewhere. Do you know what I mean? And they put it on the screen, and I actually said it out loud. I was like, yeah, obviously. The place that looks like Cybertron? No shit, thanks. But like, this fucking movie, you're just like, get the fuck no.
And
like,
then everything's cool. So at this point, you should be getting the idea that people flock to him. Like, they love his words. But like, then she's like, I'm pregnant. He starts writing. 9 months later, he like,
has the full word of God ready, essentially.
And she's like, he shows it to her,
and she cries.
And the posters ring, and the poster's going, yeah, that's grand. And she's like, you already told him. Because it's more like because I was describing this movie as a horror. Basically, a cult comes and kills him, right? And I'm watching this going, where are these fucking A-Class 1 jump schemes that everyone uses that I hate? Where's all this stuff?
It's more of Patrick from What Do We Know that was guesting a few weeks ago that I linked in the podcast a few weeks ago. He did a video on existential horror, and that's essentially what the first part of this movie is. It's existential horror.
I know you're done. Go fuck yourself.
It's existential horror, and like, because you're like, this is exactly like how you would react if one of the people you were in a relationship with, that you trusted, that you loved, kept not listening to you, kept fucking inviting people into your house that they were asking you, kept basically treading all over you. Like, and the dread is real. Like, they break things in our house, they go into rooms in our house that are supposed to be private, and they keep invading her privacy and stuff, and they keep telling her to fuck off and go fuck herself, and she's a cunt for having basic human fucking emotions. Like, you're just like, no, get the fuck out of her house. Like, why are you being such a cunt? But then it just takes this turn after he publishes that poem.
But it's not even really public. It's just like, it's out.
Yeah, it's just everybody has it, and then they're like, oh, he comes back in. I remember he comes back in after. Do you remember the fans flock outside his gaff to get autographs and meet him and all?
Yeah.
And he comes back in and he's like, oh, everybody gets it, everybody understands it, and it's different for everybody. Which is basically the Bible. It's like, everybody understands it, but everyone has a different interpretation of it. Even though it's written in Greek, it's very hard to understand. Ancient Greek, at that, it's very hard to understand. But it's just like,
it didn't have Google Translate.
Yeah, but Google Translate are shy. Even the translators that translate the Bible now, they're still changing words now, so that's a bad sign. But you know what I mean? It didn't make any sense. And then I think they were trying to recreate like a cult type thing. It just like the bit where it gets culty and they all like flock into our gaff, and then they start making food, and they're like, oh, the poet says it's fine, the poet says we can share, the poet says this, the poet says that.
And they start robbing things.
And then they start robbing things, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? That's not yours. And she's like, I want a piece of them. I want to have a piece of them. And you're just like, what? What's going on? Like, like at some point it doesn't. It stops being a parable and it just starts throwing things in.
And at the same time, she's going through labour, right?
Yeah. Also, we have to touch on this other fucking bullshit where
Can we talk about like
the yellow powder shit she kept putting in water that they didn't explain. You couldn't see the bottle. You couldn't see the label. So it was basically just a powder that, unless you actually have whatever the fuck she had that she needed that powder for, you didn't know. It looked like it was for heartburn or something.
I thought it would be for like she's just tripping balls. I really thought it was just going like, because every time she took it, weird shit that happened. It's like
every time she took it, like there was echoes when she put a glass down and go bing ding 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 ding.
I thought he was drugging her or something like that. He's unintentionally drugging her.
But how could he drug her? She makes all the fucking food. Do you know what I mean?
Because I was thinking, I was like, maybe he's drugging her and this shit is just not actually happening. And he's like, relax, what are you talking about? This is 3 people over.
Yeah.
So then, right. So would you say the guard, when the police come and the SWAT come, would you say they're the Romans trying to take Jesus?
No, I think that they were trying to, like, for me, that film inside the house wasn't so much civilized as a safe space. And then when those people invade them, the cultists, we'll call them, invade.
Check my tea out, that was the creepiest scene in the movie, I think.
It just gets balls to the wall out of hand and her world shatters. And then she calls the police and she's like, help me please, they're taking everything, help me. And she's like, they're like, what's your emergency? And like, help me please. And then your woman hangs up and takes the phone off her.
It's like, it's alright.
And she's like, I was fucking using that. And she's like, the poet says it's alright. It's like, how is it alright to be rude? Like, how is it alright to be a cunt? Do you know what I mean? And then when the police finally arrive and it's like,
but again,
fucking
at
army.
this point, she still has manners. She's still like, please, can you stop? She hasn't lost it yet.
Yeah.
It's only when she's gone in labour, and every time she goes through traction, they like everything gets
her whole reality shakes.
Yeah, and it gets worse in the house. There's a raven one bit. There's people robbing girls another bit.
Yeah.
There's people just doing everything.
It's basically that whole part was supposed to be the stages of man's evolution from the inception of the word of God or whatever the fuck. But like, it just comes off as so pretentious, and it doesn't make any sense. And then I assume that the police are supposed to represent not order but safety, because they're the only thing that can save her. Like, in her mind, they're the only thing that can save her.
And they're trying. Like, one of the guys, like,
the chap is like, "Are you hurt? Are you okay?" And then he dies.
And then so it's probably like.
And then the cultists turn on the poet. Well, some of the cultists do.
It's like when religions branch off. So it's like, this is the beginning of it, but then like they have different interpretations of it. Yeah. So they're branching to the point that like, we hate this guy, we love this guy. So, also we skipped upon something. The rock that has no meaning, the crystal.
Oh yeah, shattered.
That gets shattered by the
couple, the original couple, which I assume that's
the apple.
It's supposed to be the apple, yeah. And it's obviously Michelle Pfeiffer that broke it because she went into the room the first time.
Yeah. And
she was like, "Oh, what's the big deal? I just want to look." Get the fuck out of his room, like, fuck off.
So the lemon was the serpent.
The lemon?
Yeah, her lemon drinks was the serpent.
No, she was locked essentially. That was alcohol, wasn't it? Like, because like she essentially took him into the room because she knew where it was. She knew where the room was. She was like, he who told me the stories I just wanted to see. You know what I mean? So obviously she broke it. Or that's just probably my cultural inference because I know that in Genesis, Eve is the one that takes the first bite or whatever. Or wants to, whatever the fuck it is, I don't know. I don't fucking remember. But,
well, and I'm pretty sure there's 2 trees. One of knowledge and one of, I remember, like,
one of them is like, it's knowledge, and the other one's like, do not eat from this tree at all.
One's apple, isn't it, and a pear?
I can't remember. I haven't read Genesis in like fucking 15 years or something.
I'm very ageist, so I don't really care.
Yeah. I'm like pagan at this stage, so that doesn't really matter to me anymore.
So then he finds her again. Every time he finds her, he
looks worse. Yeah.
He comes down. Then he fucks off. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
So
I'll be right back. Stay right here. I'm standing right fucking here in the middle of a mob.
And they're trying to.
And she gets like trampled and all. And then fucking. And then he finally finds her. He's like, what's wrong? She's like, the baby is coming. I'm having the baby. He's like, oh fuck. And then he gets her into the room, and she has the baby. Actually, before it was stipulate before that that's when some of the cultists return. Like they just want to touch him. They just want to touch her. They just want to like touch him and all. He's like, no, get out of the way, get out of the way. And then the chap that's like the fucking
Blind guy.
is he blind?
I thought he was blind.
No, I think he's just fucking weird. You know the chap that's like the first one in the door now.
Yeah.
I assume he's supposed to be the quote unquote pope of this weird religion.
He's putting the thing on
What is essentially the ink on the side of their heads, yeah. And
interpret his words your own way. Did he say? Was he saying that?
something like that. And then he gets them into the room, the writing room. It's the only room that was blocked up, so they couldn't actually get into it. Like I assume that's supposed to be the Garden of Eden or whatever. Blah blah blah, symbolism, blah blah blah. But then she has the baby after a while, and he's like, "Let me hold him." She's like, "No." He's like, "Let me hold him." She's like, "No." She's like, "I'm his father," and she's like, "I'm his mother!" Exclamation point, as the movie's fucking called. But that's the only point in the movie where you're like, that's why it's called Mother, because she says, "I am his mother," once. Do you know what I mean? She's not a mother. Like that happens like half an hour before the end of the movie. The movie is 2 hours long. It takes an hour and a half to finally have a mother in the movie called Mother.
So, but like,
and then she's like,
there's a fighting game like of eating and trying not to sleep because he wants the baby to show the baby off.
yeah,
Like, this is the son of me. This is the son
this is
of
my
God.
son. Yeah. And then he goes out to she's like, asked him to leave. He's like, he goes out because they're making lots of noise, and then they go quiet, and she finally has the baby.
Like, chirp, like it's a. I thought I was trying to count the kind of thing, the thing. I was trying to see would it be 30, because Judas and his 30s.
Oh, the silver pieces.
Yeah, I thought like but I literally lost count like 5 times.
Yeah, because sound turbo.
You're not a dick at all.
Yeah, but then like he's like, they brought gifts, and she was like, are they leaving? And he's like, no. And she's like, ask them to fucking leave, like, because I just had a baby and I want to be alone, which is a completely reasonable fucking request. And he's like, I don't want them to leave, and you're just like, why don't you want them to leave? Like, surely your wife and your son are the most important things right now. And he's like, oh, I don't want them to leave. And then it's obvious that it's because they stroke his ego and they worship him or whatever.
And he needs
even though they've like completely destroyed his house, and they've even like they've hit him a few times and like pushed him and
they've attacked him.
Yeah, mobbed him and stuff. Like he's really, the two of them are really worse for wear by this point in the film. And then
he looks a bit alright though.
It's
because he had people help him. And so then she eventually falls asleep. It seems
after breastfeeding, which is the reason this film is 18s, an hour and a half of the movie, she breastfeeds her child like any other fucking mother would, or aunt or whatever, midwife, whatever. Like a human being, a human woman that has a child, can breastfeeds. For some reason, it's either that, right, or they're meeting the baby, or they're killing the baby, right? But I don't see why that would push, like, either of those moments. I don't see why either of those would push it to 18s. 16s, no problem.
See, I'd rather it to be 18s.
Yeah, stop fucking kids, can't say.
So she falls asleep eventually, like, after a day and a night of them waiting. And so, like, a day and a night of waiting, and she falls asleep, and she wakes up, and he's gone with the baby.
But it's that kind of sleep where you kind of go, you blink, and then you wake up and hours or so have passed. That's what it like. Yeah. I've had those sleeps where I've been fighting to stay awake because I'm watching a film or watching a show or something. Or like, oh, I really want to see the end of this. Then boom, you're asleep. And so the baby is out of her hands, and she panics naturally because the door is open. He's gone. The baby's gone, and she follows him out, and he has the baby in his hand, and he's showing, and then his arms lower. And then when she turns him around to take the baby off, the baby is gone because he gave it to the mob of people that were in front of him.
And then the baby starts pissing.
And then the baby starts, like, they take its blanket off, and they're just like passing along in hands, and she's chasing after the baby, which is fucking natural instinct of any person.
Not the father. He seems alright, right?
Because he's a fucking sap. And then the baby's neck gets snapped because I don't know if you've ever there's a I think it's not Bo Burnham, fucking Australian comedian, what's his name? Anyway, it's a comedian anyway, where he's like, we watched a fucking video called Don't Shake the Baby.
Yeah.
And it was a 40-minute video, but like everything you need to know about Don't Shake the Baby is in the
title.
title. Because they're weak, and as we've seen in that movie, their fucking necks snap.
Yeah.
Right?
And it brought back to the original poem we did at the wake.
Yeah, but like it gets worse. Like it's worse than that, because they get the baby's neck snap, and they all go silent, and she screams, fucking understandably, and he's fucking whatever, and then the baby goes down and gets set down on the yoke, and then by the time she gets to him, they're out there fucking gutting and decapitating, and they're eating it, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what the fuck is going on? I assume that that's supposed to be a commentary on the fact that Jesus Christ was brought into this world, he was given to this world, and then we killed him, and then every Sunday we eat him, like body of Christ, and then they eat him, right? But not all fucking monotheistic religions eat their savior. But anyway,
a little vampiric.
It's not even vampiric. It's fucking disgusting.
Wait, we're drinking his blood. That's vampiric.
That's vampiric, but it's cannibalistic that we fucking eat.
Wait,
they were actually eating a fucking baby. Like,
and then when she fought back, they stopped kicking the shit out of her.
Yeah,
and it takes him.
She's like, give me back my fucking, like, stop eating my fucking child. And they're like, fuck you, cunt. Fuck you, whore. Fuck, like, what?
And then he takes forever to get to her.
Yeah, to be fair, there's a big mob in the way. It's like, what have they done to you? What have
they
done
love him.
to you? Yeah, but still, what have they done to you? Look what they've done. What have they done? Look what they've done. Like, fuck off. Like, get out of her. Get out. Like, fucking leave her alone. Like,
that's when the heart finally.
That's when you finally see the thing goes completely black, and you're like, all right. And then she's like, she screams no. The floor cracks, and at that point I was like, oh, finally she's gonna have some sort of supernatural power and she's gonna kill them all. But no, that's not what happens. Because I was like, no, fuck you, no, get away from me, get out of my house, it's time for you to leave. She gets the fucking lighter that she knocked off at the start, that was apparently a big step, really important prop that nobody really gave a shit about.
Because I was kind of hoping at this point, the boat kind of elements of something, the boat gods, the boat being immortal beings that they're constantly doing this. And then it was when she set the house on fire.
Yeah.
She gets fucked up. His shirt doesn't even get burned.
Yeah, he's completely fine. Like, the house doesn't even go on fire, Kev. It explodes. She blows the fucking house up. And then she's, like, burnt to an absolute crisp. And she's like, what the fuck are you? And he's like, I'm a creator, I create. She's like, why did you do this? And he's like, it's just what I do. And then she was like, I gave you everything. What more did you want? And he's like, I don't have anything left to give you. And he's like, yeah, you do. You have your love. And then he takes her heart out, and it becomes that crystal yolk.
That's when I was like,
and it just starts again.
When he's walking her out, I'm like, oh, it's a fucking circle.
Yeah, but like, just something to fucking be like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. This is just the way the world works, or I have to create, or something where it's like,
I don't want this. It just happens. This is why they're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, something like that. Something that gives you a hint where it's like,
there's 2 fucking movies that are basically circles we've done.
Yeah, we did Dark Tower, and then we did this, and I actually like Dark Tower. That gets a 5. This fucking movie, right? We've been talking about it now for a straight 35 minutes ish, and we talked about pretty much every part of it. It spoiled 2 absolute bits. Like, if people genuinely want to comment in the comment section that, oh, you ruined this film, it's spoilers. Good, I'm glad I fucking ruined it. Like I have never in a movie sat through it and thought, why isn't this movie
left nearly before the ending?
Yeah, I was like, why isn't this movie over? can someone just burn the fucking house down so we can all go home?
Because there was flashes to that during the movie as well. Like, and I thought it was weird. I was like, because there's a flash where he's holding someone's hand. You can see him perfectly. The girl's blurred.
But even at the end, where like he restores the gap with her fucking heartstone, whatever the fuck, and then it's just some other woman in the bed. What was the whole fucking point of watching the movie if the character who's supposed to be the audience not only dies but is completely replaceable? And then if they're supposed to be linking it to either monotheism or just Christian religion in general, like specifically Christian religion because of the similarities to the early Torah or the Old Testament, and then there's not the only New Testament stuff is towards the end.
So that's how they do the rating system.
Yeah, the way they do it is if there's no, like, there is no drugs. I don't remember there being, like, there's alcohol. They drink alcohol, but people drink alcohol. And then sex and nudity, there's this, alright, just so that people know, there's a bit where Jennifer Lawrence, when she's getting the absolute shit kicked out of her, they pull the front of her dress down, and she's nude for, like, a couple of seconds before Javier Bardem comes up and, like, picks her up. But, like, the sex scene it's not strong.
It's a few cases, and then cut, I'm pregnant, and everyone laughs.
Yeah, and
what?
then there's a bit where Michelle Pfeiffer and I can never think of this chap's name. Fucking the chap that was her husband. He's in everything.
He really is. He's
Ed Harris. He's like the general and everything. But they're kind of having a bit of an intimate scene where he's like,
they do fucking
she's kind of like grinding up against him or whatever on the couch.
But she's coughing his lungs up.
Yeah, but she's not like, they're not like having sex around. She's just kind of, she's just wearing a bra and like, I think it was like her skirt or whatever.
But was
like,
that?
It's not strong. I wouldn't consider that strong.
Was that actually Jennifer Lawrence, her underwear she was wearing? Because remember when she was doing the washing?
I'm not paying attention to shit like that. It does that just like.
Do you remember she was doing the washing, right? And she's like, "Oh, you won't get anywhere wearing these like boring ones." And then she's like, "Oh, she sees that."
You need to try harder, yeah.
But then later on, you see her in that kind of colour.
I don't know. The thing that just annoyed me was, I think that maybe the movie annoyed me, but I assume that that's what Aronofsky is going for. Like, I would assume that when he made this film, he knew that the people that are going to like it, they're not going to like it because it's a good film. Like, it's jarring, the cinematography is annoying, like the shots where, like we were talking about when she's going into labour and the riot is happening around her, like it's the way you see the riot is it's focused on her face, and you can see it happening around her, and when people bump off her and stuff like that. But like, it's annoying because you're like, I want to see what the fuck is happening. I don't understand what the fuck is happening.
And like one of the scenes that I still remember is when the guy grabs her and checks a tea out.
Yeah, like I think they were supposed to be Russian or German or something, and they're like, I suppose if I was more worldly and I understood like other Germanic languages and other romantic languages, that I could be like, I could identify them by sound, that I'd probably get more from that. Right. That I'd probably go, oh, they're supposed to be German and they're supposed to be Nazis, or they're supposed to be Russian and they're supposed to be this, or they're supposed to be Lithuanian and they're supposed to be this. But like, it was just like, it sounded like a very Slavic kind of language, and they were like, oh, she's been tainted or whatever. And they were checking teeth and locking people up, and there was fences, and you're just like,
this is happening in real time as well. So they put them fences up real quick.
Yeah, and that's like the weird thing is that the movie is framed from the beginning to be a normal film. Yeah. Like a normal thriller.
Again, a multi-point sketch. Usually they don't know an ending. They're like, and now something different.
Do you remember? I was literally about to say. Do you remember? I turned to you, and it was when she said, just before they had sex, I was like, and now for something completely different. And then they had like the weird kissy necky thing. and they were in the bedroom, and then she was pregnant all of a sudden.
I like the best.
I think that was the only punchline in the movie, is that she's like touching her chest like that, and she just goes, "I'm pregnant." You're like, what?
Like my only call out in the movie that it actually was when I said, "Kiss him, you fool! Kiss him, you fool!"
That was a fucking. I was like, "Oh, Kev, please."
And yeah, he did. He got him and kissed her.
Cause obviously that was what was gonna happen, but like you don't shout it, like, do you know what I mean? Like I know it wasn't a very full screen, but like, oh Christ.
Right though. Kissing fool. All right, so rating system for this, right?
I'm not even sure if I'm still done talking about this fucking film. Oh my god, it's so.
But we talked about the movie, right?
So vexed me, like, oh.
Her acting is probably the best in it. I liked her acting.
I think her acting,
because she's basically, oh, it's gone. The fuck is gone?
Yeah, I think she definitely conveyed a good like.
Great manners. It took her a lot to get the fuck.
Yeah,
out of my house.
she did take a long time to snap, but when she snapped hard. Like I think her acting was good, and I appreciate the effort she put into the movie. But I think Aronofsky just took the absolute piss with this fucking film.
What else did he direct? He directed The Wrestler.
I don't know if he directed The Wrestler now, but. Where is he, the little prick? Aronofsky's done a few fucking bangers.
Because I was looking at it earlier on. He's obviously the director of it.
Good stuff.
Good show.
I hate it. Oh, Late of the Train.
Yeah.
Here we go. Requiem for a Dream, which I didn't like. The Fountain, which I can't remember whether I watched it or whether I watched something else, because they're all those, like, there was like The Fountain, Cloud Atlas, and some other film with Hugh Jackman. Unless this is the film with Hugh Jackman. Oh, this is the film with Hugh Jackman. And then there's another one with Brad Pitt, and none of them make any fucking sense.
Right.
And then
Wrestler.
He did Wrestler, Black Swan.
The Wrestler.
The Fighter, I think I've seen as well. I think The Fighter is alright. Noah is a complete piece of shit.
People fucking loved it though.
It
was so much money.
It was fucking woeful.
Christian Bale won an Oscar for The Wrestler, didn't he?
You won for The Fighter, yeah. You won an Oscar for that.
The Wrestler, yeah. Sorry.
No, it was fucking shocking.
Yeah, oh, actually,
that's respectable enough now for what it was, which is essentially a Bible film. A Bible sci-fi action film.
Aftermath.
Jackie, I think I really want to see.
Did you? I love Jackie. I saw it on an airplane back from America.
Ironically, and if you'd have seen it in a fucking limo, I'd have been a bit worried now. But
she's amazing. Natalie Portman's fucking insanely good.
So I think that just.
I saw that new thing with what
the top 10, yeah, the What Do We Know guys, yeah. Because Patrick said it to me, and then Zoe said it to me when Jackie came out, that she saw it and was class. And I was like, yeah, I really, really want to see it. It's just that we didn't get it in Charlestown.
Why didn't you get it? We got it.
I don't know. They didn't get it in Charlestown, and then they didn't have it in the Savoy, and then they didn't have it in Blanche, and then the times that you had in Coolock were just shite. So I just missed it completely. And I still haven't seen it because it just fell through the cracks for me.
It's really good. And I saw this guy talking about accents. He did a video on accents, and he talked about Natalie Portman and put them side by side, and actually kind of got her voice perfect.
Yeah. There's her performance is really, really good.
Wait, what did he do? He's a producer for Aftermath. What was Aftermath?
Oh, he was a producer for Jackie. Oh, I'll take it back.
Yeah. What was Aftermath about?
Also a producer, but we'll have a look. It's obviously something shy.
That's a zombie thing. Brian Schwarzenegger. Is Johnny Knoxville in it?
Rowan Methick is a construction worker, is allowed to leave work early for the arrival of his wife and daughter. Alright, now we're getting completely off topic now, but
never mind.
But yeah,
so what's that? So Murder he directed.
Last thing he directed was fucking Noah.
And what did he write?
He's done nothing.
He wrote Murder. He wrote Murder as well.
Maybe he should not do that anymore.
Okay, give us a rating.
Give you a rating. Yeah. It's definitely not fucking 83% anyway. The fucking the critics on fucking Rotten Tomatoes can just get fucked.
See, I hate critics. I generally hate critics.
I'd
rather a YouTube critic, because there's someone who not big YouTube critic, small. They'll tell you how they fucking think, right?
Because they're not being paid.
Yeah, but when it comes to like this, anyone who comes in and like, oh yeah, I got this, like, what? Sorry, are you a follower or are you gonna fucking leave? Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
But still,
I think like the best. I've always said this. I think I said this in one of our original podcasts as well. It's about finding a reviewer who you agree with, because 9 times out of 10 they'll tell you what you're gonna feel watching the film. Like, there's no point watching a critic that says, "Oh, Mother is an excellent fucking what's the first one?" I'll just read the first one. Where's it? A hallucination that's also an angry cry about the state of this world, but most importantly, a cinematic experience of unique proportions.
Though.
Yeah, but you don't know if it's a hallucination because you don't know what she's taking medicine for. Medicine that she just
chucks out.
She just chucks it out without any explanation as to what it does, what it is, why she takes it. I assumed it was like after she poured it out, it's like, is it contraceptive? Is that why she was taking? And then that critic, by the way, is Glenn Kenny, just in case anybody's like, oh, you didn't credit him. He actually only did that review 2 days ago. But
2 days ago.
Yeah. Unique is definitely a word to describe this film. But it's a bad kind of unique that I don't know if you're even going to like it.
Wow, it's 5 o'clock.
It is 5 o'clock, yeah. 6 o'clock almost. But, like, I didn't like it. I didn't, like, normally I like a film where it's like, have a little think, enjoy what we're doing.
Yeah.
This film is too challenging to get a cinema release. I think this probably did really well in Cannes, and some people were like, "Oh, we put it in the cinema and it'll do well." No, it's an 18s film,
which is already fucking hard enough.
Which is already hard enough for people to get into because they can't bring anybody really. Like, obviously adults can go, but like most people bring their kids to the cinema for something to do. And secondly, Jennifer Lawrence has let people down already with fucking Passengers. I was 100% let down with that film. I hate it. And then this is the next thing I see her in, and I'm let down again. Like, I appreciate, like, genuinely appreciate the acting talent she had to put into this film. And you cannot say she can't act. She's been in this. She's been in, what's that other Notebook film?
Notebook? Silver Lining?
Silver Linings Playbook, and then the
Joy. I loved Joy.
Do you know what I mean? Like, she has acting talent, and I appreciate that she doesn't.
But when you have a hard script,
yeah, I appreciate that. Like, she doesn't want to just do blockbusters, and she doesn't want to always be. She doesn't want to be typecast. She doesn't want to be the. But like, she makes so much money that she can do whatever she wants, and I appreciate that's what she's doing here. But when I see Jennifer Lawrence's name on something, I want to be able to say, yes, I like her. I want to go see that. Like with Idris Elba. When I see him on Dark Tower, I was like, oh, I like Idris Elba. I like Matthew McConaughey. I want to go see that. Like, that's the point of being cast. And then the jokes they kept making where she's like, oh, she's not a bit young for you. I assume that's supposed to hammer home the fact that Mary was like a human being and God was like a fucking infinite, ageless deity. But it just came off as kind of, yeah, we think so too. Hollywood should probably stop casting young actresses to be the wives of 60-year-old men, but they will continue to do so because that's how they fucking done it for ages. And it makes them money.
Have you seen the new Mummy movie?
No, I dodged that like the plague.
Right, so there's a scene in it where Russell Crowe is Mr. Hyde and Tom Cruise.
He's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Right, and he goes to Tom Cruise, you may be a younger man. And I went, wait a minute, paused it, because there was a clip on YouTube, paused it. Tom Cruise is older than Russell Crowe.
He is, yeah.
What age does he go for?
I think it's like 40, I think it's what people think he is.
Yeah, he's 57.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe's like 55 or 54.
Yeah. But he looks older because he has a beard.
Yeah, but like
Tom and he doesn't dye his hair as well.
Tom Cruise, shut the fuck up. Stop trying to be a 20 or 30-year-old. You're 50.
You see, like,
you're close to 60.
Yeah. You have to appreciate Tom Cruise. Like,
no.
People are like, fuck Tom Cruise, he should retire. But
no, not retire.
Much like
admit your age.
Yeah, much like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone when they made the Expendables, the movies that they like to make are the movies that young men are cast to do. So now, like Sylvester Stallone made the Expendables because he's like, do you want to just make an 80s action movie with me? Yeah, come on, we make an 80s action movie. And he got all his mates that were also in 80s action movies. He's like, come on, we have a bit of crack.
It's a throwback.
Yeah, it's a throwback, and it's a good fucking entertaining film. Where you're like, I remember when films used to be this gritty. I remember when fucking action blockbuster movies were R-rated because the people that fucking spent money on them were fucking adults rather than 12-year-olds that fucking can't even buy their own popcorn.
But like, I always thought they were comedies. I genuinely always thought that Spanish movies were comedies, and they were like, they're not comedies.
They're action comedy.
They're like really serious. So what number are you giving it? 1 to 10. Try not go minus, right? I want to tell you something I did earlier on.
Minus 60 million. How old is the Earth? About 3,000. So I think I'll give it minus
3,000.
According to creationists.
Let's go 4.5 billion years.
I think I'm gonna give it a 3.
I'm gonna give it a 3 as well. That's my number was gonna be a 3.
Because
I liked it, but it's still like
no, it's under a 5. It's not above a 5 for me. Fuck this movie. Like, I think, like, the reason I'm giving it a 3 and not like a 0 or a 1 is because Jennifer Lawrence genuinely acting the bollocks off herself in this.
I'm being super polite. I'm gonna count that in. She was super polite until she was like, just get the fuck, because I've lost this sometimes. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Just get the fuck out of my house!
Yeah. Or Javier Bardem he's Javier Bardem.
He does fucking nothing in the movie. He just is cold bastard.
He does nothing. And then Michelle Pfeiffer, I think, is sinister bitch, and she plays it really well.
Oh, she's fantastic, being a bitch.
I really enjoyed that. But saying that, nothing in the cinematography made me go, yeah, this is really well shot.
No, it's going to get nominated. It's going to get nominated.
Oh, 100% one of them is going to get nominated for something.
Oh, it's going to get nominated for Best Picture.
Oh, I hope not, because it's not in the slightest Best Picture. Like, at least last year with, like, La La Land and Moonlight, they were actually good films.
I like La La Land. I saw it on a plane, and I was like, no, this isn't that bad.
You've got to stop watching films on planes, though.
Well, it's an 11-hour flight. I had to distract myself somehow.
That's fair.
And the movies were free because of delays.
Yay.
And they were free on the way back because it was a 24-hour delay.
Anyway.
VidCon was fun. I've had a great summer. I really have.
But,
boom.
Like, and then his use of the Steadicam to focus on her face and the disorientation.
There was a lot on her face, though. There was a lot.
Yeah.
It's a long movie of her face. And her face is always, I've always found her face super interesting because she has no features, really.
No, it's just a face.
Yeah. Her nose isn't even, like,
nothing kind of like with Emilia Clarke. Listen, we're getting into fucking weird territory now.
And I need to pee again, so we need to end this soon.
That's it. So, basically, the thing that annoyed me was that the cinematography, the way he decided to shoot it, was on her face constantly, and didn't, like, give you a broad look at anything. He didn't really let you look at anything. It was basically just to disorientate it, to go, did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that?
So the Easter egg, your dog just straight up is eyeing me.
Yeah, he's gonna eat you later.
He just looked at me dead in the eyes like, hey, I'm gonna eat
but
you.
It's just.
We had to end this. You're just ranting about it.
I'm just ranting about it now at this stage. But it just irked me so much.
There's one more we had to do. And then that's
right. So, thank you for listening to me ramble on for 50 minutes.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Thank you for listening to me ramble on about this film.
This is the last one I'm recording. I'm ending this last.
Thank you for listening. Hit a like, a subscribe. Comment if you need to call me out on some of the things that I do.
And if you like the movie, let us know why you like it.
Yeah, please. I'd love to have that discussion with anybody willing. Because I just couldn't. I sat through, just felt so terrible. Anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.